you think the league should feel about Jeannie's comments on the Nets?
I think they should love it, particularly when we see how they loading up in Brooklyn. Jeanie Buss is saying, hold your horses. We're the reigning, defending NBA champions, and we think we're going to have something to say about all of that in the end. We just picked up Andre Drummond, who averages nearly 14 rebounds a game in his career. We expect to have Anthony Davis back. LeBron James, we have no doubt he will be back. And so when you consider the pieces that we have in place, we think we're going to have something to say about, who's standing in the end. And that's what she's saying, and that's the kind of mentality that you want champions to have. She's basically staking claim to the fact that she doesn't believe that the Lakers are going anywhere for the foreseeable future. And the lovely, incomparable Board of Governors for the Los Angeles Lakers has significant credibility when she says such things. And I sincerely hope that's going to be the case this season.
There's a level of what we used to say gangsterism in Jeanie Buss, just like her father. They are not sweating what you're doing. They get crewed up. Look, here's the thing about the Lakers and the Buss family. Dr. Jerry Buss, the late, great Dr. Jerry Buss, was by far the greatest owner in the history of American team sports. Please don't embarrass anybody else by comparing them to him. Trust me. Look at the resume. Jeanie Buss, a chip off the old block. And think how hard it is to be her that way because you're following an impossible act to follow. And yet, even though she upheld her father's basically dying wish, keep the family together, with the team, and kept her brother in the position running the team probably an extra year that she should have for 4 years instead of 3 years, she eventually said, okay, enough, we got to win. Took over the team, and since she's been calling the shots and put her basketball people in place, 3 years later, they won a championship. They won a championship in 3 years. And now they're looking to defend. And she knows if her squad is healthy, she's not looking for an unfair advantage against the Nets, right? Go ahead, let the Nets get crewed up. The Lakers are crewed up, and let the chips fall where they may. They're not sweating it. Love me some Jeanie Buss. How could you not, as a Lakers fan, how could you not love that attitude?
Right. As a competitor, how can you not love that attitude? We have to remember who Jeanie Buss has been around also and watch grow into one of the greatest players of all time, in my opinion, Kobe Bryant. She came out with the Mamba mentality. That's a Mamba mentality. Bring it on. We are the defending champs. I got arguably the best duo since Kobe and Shaq. And here's the thing, right? You got to love the competitive nature. And I look back in 2016 when the other super team was formed and down there in the Bay Area with the Golden State Warriors. The great Greg Popovich from the San Antonio Spurs, when asked about him at the beginning of the season, he said, I get it, right? Don't quote me on this. I may not have it all right, but I know he said something along the lines of, we understand how great of a team they are on paper, but who's going to beat them? That's the thing. Who's going to step up and try to beat them? And when you look at what happened to them when the Spurs and them met up in the Western Conference Finals, the San Antonio Spurs had them down 20 at halftime before Zaza Pachulia slid his big size 23s up under Kawhi Leonard's feet, who was tearing them up, by the way, 26 points in 23 minutes. So I love the competitive nature. I mean, it should bring out the best of every team. Who's going to beat them? Who's going to try to beat this Nets team that is stacking up right now? That's the spirit you want to have.
That's exactly what we need, too. And we need to be reminded of that. We need to be reminded of the importance of competition. I mean, see, this is what it is about basketball, man. It's like a team sport is a team sport. We get it. But it's like when a batter shows up, Max, to play baseball, when he shows up to the batter's box, it's about him against that pitcher at that particular moment in time. One of the things that I hate and absolutely detest in the world of sports, I don't know if I hate anything more than the intention to walk. I don't know if I hate anything more, because that's you basically saying, you know what, I don't want to compete against you.
Well, it's your manager saying
that.
Yeah,
I know it's your manager, but guess what? The manager never told Randy Johnson that, wouldn't tell Roger Clemens that, wouldn't tell some of the great, one of Nolan Ryan and others that, no, you know what they would have done to them if a manager told them to intentionally walk somebody? No, we ain't going out like that. Let's get it on. And I'm saying you transfer that to basketball. And one of the things that I think is incredibly important to remind everybody, that's what we really, really want to see. You know, one of the reasons why I backed off, even though I called it when KD went to Golden State, the weakest move I'd ever seen by a superstar. The reason I backed off about that is because I never forget the first moments of that finals when he was finally in the finals for Golden State against LeBron in Cleveland. He scored a jump shot and then clapped his hands and spread his arms wide, defending against LeBron like, let's go. It was his way of saying, okay, here we go now.
Why? It's because his mom went at you.
I just said, no. I did apologize to Mama. Mama Durant. I mean, come on. I love Mama Durant now. I mean, I got a soft spot for that lady. But what I'm saying to you is that the point is, he was sitting there saying, let's go. It's me and you now. You had your crew. I got my crew. Now it's me and you. I'm just saying, we want to see that. It's important in the sport of basketball. That's how basketball became popular.
But the thing about the Lakers is, you're right, I'm with that attitude. The thing about being a Lakers fan, or in Jeannie's case, the owner of the team, is that when you're like, okay, let's go, right? You're coming at them with Shaq and Kobe, with Magic and Kareem, with LeBron and AD. You're not coming at them with, you know, you talk about Blake and LaMarcus Aldridge. You're not coming at them with CP3 and Blake, which was a great combination, but it's not enough. So Jeannie's saying, come on, we got 2 MVP players on the team. We got who we need. Let's go. That's the thing about the Lakers. They'll get their guys. They'll get guys, even if it's not, oh, this is unfair. Because back in the day, the Celtics were just as good as the Lakers now. Let's see it, right?
KP, Kendrick, before you say anything else, I will do have an open confession to make. When the Lakers are winning basketball games, the breeze in L.A., the palm trees, it just feels a little different. There's something a little extra special about L.A. when the Lakers are relevant. It's just
it should be.
It's just a little ambiance in the air. It just feels good. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.